In this kit, we'll build a machine that captures wind power to generate electricity. First, we'll make a test jig to experiment with blade shapes. Cut your choice of fan blades from the template. Straighten the paperclip. Place the fan on top of a pair of chopsticks and poke a hole. Make the hole slightly bigger with the pipette tip. Mount the fan on the pipette tip loosely to allow the blades to spin freely but not wobble. Place the thin tubing onto the end of the pipette tip. Insert the chopstick into the pipette tip. Push the chopstick through the air quickly. If the fan blades are flat, they probably won't spin. To experiment with tilted blades, cut a small slit at the black line at the base of each blade and tilt each blade in the same direction. Push the tilted fan blades through the air again to see if they spin now. Now build the electric wind generator. The long plastic strip that forms the base has 5 segments. 4 are equal length and 1 is longer. Slip the rubber band over the longest segment and twist it to form an X. Position the X at the center. Insert the tower between the X of the rubber band and the base. Fold the 5 segments to form a square base with the long segment with the tower on it forming the square's diagonal. Connect the egg segments to the base using the 2 wax strings inserted into the slots in the plastic. Insert the motor generator into the heat-shrinkable tubing. The wires and LEDs must be on the bottom. Slide the pointed ends of the chopstick pair between the heat-shrinkable tubing and the top of the motor generator. The motor shaft should point towards the joined end of the chopsticks. Slide the motor assembly all the way towards the joined end of the chopsticks. The shaft should extend beyond the end. Slip the pivot tubing onto the chopsticks, positioning the small holes on the top and bottom of the gap between the chopsticks. Push the tubing about 2/3 of the way towards the motor. You'll adjust this balance point later. Temporarily insert the plastic tail fin between the chopsticks to slightly separate them. Insert the applicator stick into the small hole in the top of the pivot tubing and out the bottom hole. Remove the spacer. Slide the applicator stick so the boom is on the top 1/8 of the slit. Slide the tail fin onto one of the chopsticks by about 2 inches. Slide the metal weight into a slot on the opposite end of the tail fin. If not pre-assembled, push the 3 spokes into the hub until they click. The spokes can be rotated when inserted into the hub, allowing you to adjust the fan blade tilt angles. Use a fresh blade template and cut out your choice of fan. Cut the blades off, discarding the center circle. Insert each blade into the slit on each spoke. Press the fan assembly onto the motor generator shaft. Rotate the spokes to set the angle of the blades. Mount the boom onto the tower and position the pivot on the boom so it is horizontally balanced. Position the assembled electric wind generator in front of a fan or other source of air and adjust the angle of the blades by rotating the spokes. Experiment with different blade sizes and angles to find the most efficient design that lights the LEDs most brightly.